How's it going today, guys? So, in today's episode, I'm going to kind of piggyback off of my everlasting conversation I've been having with ChatGPT about the abandoned farmhouses in the area. And you can look back at previous episodes if you're interested in the whole conversation. This is just yet another chapter in this ever going conversation. And what I asked ChatGPT to do this time is to write for me like a 5,000 word like secret document that would be classified, and the secret document would have to do with the fictional AgriCorp corporation that is taking over all of the farmland in the area. And like I said, if you've seen previous episodes pertaining to this conversation I've been having with ChatGPT, you'll know exactly where I'm at with all this. And so, after, being a little bit more specific and a little bit more specific, like 3, 4, 5 times running this idea through ChatGPT, we finally came up with something. And I just wanted to read it to you guys today in this episode because I think it's very pertinent to something that will happen in our future. Like, I think this is pretty close to what we're actually going to be experiencing if we already aren't and we're just not noticing it. And the title of the leaked memo is called AgriCorp Internal Strategic Consolidation Outlook 2025 to 2050. Classified, Level 5 access only. Depopulation of legacy agricultural characters and automation expansion plan. The executive intent summary. We project that independent agricultural actors will be effectively obsolete by the year 2050 unless mitigatory action is taken at scale. Our operational mandate is to consolidate control of all arable land across North America, targeting high-value production zones in eastern Washington, the Midwest Corn Belt, and the Canadian Prairie Corridor. The objective is not humanitarian. It is to maximize yield, minimize labor liability, and capture long-term commodity revenue streams. Legacy farmers, referred to internally as non-integrated landholders, represent both inefficiency and risk. Their retention of property in scattered, underutilized parcels introduces logistical complexity, prevents large-scale mechanized operations, and produces unpredictable output. Therefore, a structured plan to remove, replace, or neutralize these actors is essential. Our projections indicate that up to 70% of current small to mid-size operations in targeted regions will naturally exit through debt stress, generational attrition, or failure to adapt to mechanized practices. The remaining 30, on the other hand, will require strategic interventions, including financial pressure, tax realignment, and operational redundancy of human labor through automation. Part 2. Regional Priority Zones. Eastern Washington. High-value wheat and pulse regions are a priority. Population density is already low and infrastructure is sparse, but the current tax base is insufficient to sustain independent actors. Our analysis shows significant potential for land aggregation, with farmhouses averaging about $150,000 on the market value, but carrying $8,000 in annual tax burden, creating a natural tax exit incentive. The Midwest Corn Belt. Despite higher density, consolidation opportunities exist through coordinated purchase of mid-size operations. The combination of commodity futures exposure and generational debt makes these areas suitable for rapid integration into large-scale mechanized systems. The Canadian prairies. Legal frameworks in Alberta and Saskatchewan allow foreign corporate ownership with minimal restrictions. Automation adoption rates are high due to large continuous parcels and favorable climate for drone-based operations. These regions serve as proof of concept for fully automated, low-labor agricultural ecosystems. Projected depopulation curves and human attrition metrics. Our internal demographic modeling indicates that annual attrition of independent farmers due to financial insolvency is 4 to 6% per year over the next decade. Attrition accelerated by debt exposure. Farms with outstanding mortgages above 60% of land value are 3.5 times more likely to exit by 2035. Suicide and mental health crisis. While not a primary operational concern, these do correlate with exit rates and thus can be treated as a variable in market clearance modeling. Estimated human attrition adds 12 to 18% natural reduction to target populations in the priority zones by 2035. These numbers are treated analytically. We track human displacement only insofar as it facilitates land acquisition. Ethical or social consequences are operationally irrelevant. Operational tools for land clearance. Credit leverage. Increase interest rates on rural lending via partner financial institutions. Reduce refinancing options for non-compliant operators. Incentivize voluntary liquidation through bundled debt packages with mandatory sell clauses. Tax pressure. Reassess property values annually to maximize local tax obligations. Target delinquent parcels for auction. Coordinate with county offices to ensure rapid transfer. Infrastructure withholding. Limit rural broadband expansion selectively. Reduce maintenance funding for roads servicing isolated properties. And leverage utility pricing and service schedules to pressure legacy actors into exiting. The automation rollout sequence. Phase 1, 2025 to 2030. Deploy drones for field surveillance, pest control, and precision spraying. Begin robotic seeding soil analysis. Phase 2, 2030 to 2040. Introduce autonomous harvesters capable of managing up to 5,000 acres per operator, and fully integrate sensor grids for soil moisture, crop health, and yield prediction. Phase 3, 2040 to 2050. Human oversight is reduced to remote monitoring. Robots perform planting, tending, and harvesting autonomously. Land previously managed by multiple independent actors is consolidated into one fully automated field. Containment and compliance strategies. Soft controls. Debt leverage, insurance premiums, and regulatory reporting requirements act as behavioral deterrents. Farmers failing to comply with reporting standards or mechanization mandates are flagged for accelerated exit. Hard controls. Physical access limitations, property liens, and targeted utility curtailments. Compliance enforcement extends to drone surveillance to monitor unauthorized crop management or non-compliant labor practices. Psychological deterrence. Publicized foreclosure auctions, high visibility drone patrols, and selective media framing reduce attempts at resistance. Legacy actors internalize inevitability and voluntarily relocate or liquidate. Cultural narrative management. Public perception is managed via strategic campaigns. Save the Heartland initiatives package consolidation as benevolent modernization. Educational content highlights efficiency gains and environmental benefits of mechanized agriculture. Case studies of surviving independent operators are selectively framed as anomalies, reinforcing compliance behavior. Social media amplification ensures minimal public scrutiny of eviction and consolidation operations. Economic modeling. Projected revenue from fully automated consolidated parcels exceeds previous multi-operator output by 40 to 55% due to efficiency, scale, and reduced labor costs. Land aggregation allows price control over regional commodities, reducing market volatility and improving long-term return on investment. Capital expenditure over a 20 to 25 year horizon ensures initial automation investment yields net positive returns within the first decade of deployment. The risk assessment. Risk 1, rebellion. There's a low probability events from independent actors attempting resistance are mitigated through predictive monitoring and selective enforcement. Cybersecurity. Autonomous systems require robust cybersecurity protocols to prevent sabotage by displaced actors or external adversaries. Public relations. Mismanaged narrative control could provoke political intervention. Strategic messaging and preemptive lobbying greatly reduce this risk. Strategic recommendations. 1. Accelerate drone surveillance in priority zones to detect non-compliance within 12 to 24 hours. 2. Coordinate with county treasurers to ensure auction timings align with automated takeover schedules. 3. Expand financial product offerings, targeting legacy actors to expedite voluntary liquidation. 4. Deploy automation and robotics incrementally to avoid market shock while signaling inevitability to remaining human operators. And number 5, maintain controlled media narratives to suppress dissent and frame consolidation as progress. The long-term outlook. By 2050, projections indicate that independent small farmers in targeted regions will constitute less than 5% of total arable land operators. Automated farms will dominate wheat, pulse, corn, and soybean production. Rural population density will fall in line with operational efficiency, reducing infrastructure liabilities. AgriCorp will control a majority of the most productive parcels, establishing long-term market dominance and commodity pricing influence. Legacy narratives will fade. New communities will form around maintenance, technology oversight, and logistics hubs rather than traditional farming families. The final directives. All personnel engaged in operational planning, financial intervention, automation deployment, and compliance enforcement are reminded that human attrition is a variable to track, not a concern. Land acquisition timelines are binding. Delays are financially detrimental. Narrative management is integral to operational success. The perception of modernization is as important as mechanized yield. Reporting on resistance incidents must remain confidential. Public knowledge is restricted to approved case studies. The conclusion: the eradication of the legacy agricultural actors is not optional. It is essential to achieving operational scale, efficiency, and long-term corporate dominance. Automation will render human labor unnecessary, and compliance will ensure minimal disruption. Narrative management will prevent social backlash. Revenue projections and consolidation targets are achievable if the outlined procedures are followed rigorously. The future of agriculture in North America is corporate, automated, and fully under our control.